football again, and that just sounds phenomenal to say. And we got a slate of football, Newman. I am so pumped for today, not only because we are recording in person at the draft house, draft within 3 hours, but again, we just have an insane amount of football today.
It's a fucking marathon, man. It is a beast. Yeah, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm super happy that college football is back, and we're going to give you some picks just for the hell of it here.
Yeah, again, so we're going to do this every weekend with our picks, and we're always going to say spread. We're not going to quite do it like the college football live. So we're going to give our picks with the spread, so it's always important to remember that. Do you want to get things started off with Spencer Rattler in Oklahoma?
Yeah, so what do you got the line there? 31.5, I think.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to take Oklahoma to cover that. I think that they're out to prove something. This is a big year for them. You got Spencer Rattler as a Heisman candidate, potential number 1 pick in the draft. They're going to go just unleash the dogs and try to run it up like they used to do under Bob.
I absolutely love Tulane. They have awesome colors, awesome jerseys, one of the coolest mascots. But you're absolutely right. Spencer Rattler is going to put on a show. This one will be done early, and they cover. The Big 12 has something to prove. Oklahoma has something to prove. This will be a game that is ugly fast.
Yeah. So what do you got next?
Next is a battle of the Big Ten. Early, noon kickoff, big noon on Fox. Penn State at Wisconsin. I think this could be 3 yards in a cloud of dust type game. What do you think?
Yeah, I've got Scotty covering the spread here. What do you got that at?
I got it at 5.5. I actually like Penn State on the road. They have the better skill position players. They have the better quarterback, and I think they have the better coach. For that reason, I like Penn State to pull the upset, mostly because I really don't like Wisconsin's quarterback. Graham Mertz is no good.
Yeah, you've been saying that. I tend to disagree. Wisconsin also has one of the best defenses, probably the best defense in the conference. So I'm going to take them to beat Penn State here, who has their own trash quarterback, Sean Clifford, for themselves.
I can't believe I'm picking the big red dog, Clifford, but I am.
Yeah.
Next game I got here, I think it's a super interesting game. It's on the Pac-12 network, sadly, so many probably aren't going to see this game. But Fresno State, Oregon. What are your thoughts on this one?
So Fresno State looked pretty good last week. I have them covering the 20.5 points. They probably still lose out this game, obviously. But Oregon is, they've got Anthony Brown and Ty Thompson. So this is going to be one of those situations where potentially 2 quarterbacks are playing. Your old phrase is, if you have 2 quarterbacks, you don't have one. So to me, this is just one of those with Oregon kind of not really decided on what the quarterback situation is going to be for them. And then just kind of replacing a lot of what they lost and stuff last year. This is not an Oregon team that I expect to blow people out. Also, their coach, Mario Cristobal, doesn't like to win that way. He wants to run the ball. So that's going to keep it close enough that Fresno State stays within striking distance and covers the spread.
Yeah, I like this game to be tighter than it should be. Fresno State's coach, Kalen DeBauer, is the Indiana University's previous offensive coordinator. Fantastic coach, fantastic guy. I think this game is pretty close, probably late in the third quarter. I like Oregon to still win by maybe, 7 to 10 points. Probably a 2-score game late in the fourth quarter. But yeah, I absolutely have Fresno State covering, and I think this is going to be a really good game.
Yeah, 20.5 is too much here.
Yep. All right. Here we go. Miami. A lot of preseason hype. Derek King. Can he live up to, and can they give Alabama a run?
No.
No, not at all. I feel like
Alabama's replacing a ton of production. Unfortunately for Miami, Alabama has to replace production. They're replacing them with 4 and 5 stars that are better than any recruits that Miami currently has on their roster. So this is one of those games where Miami is going to stick with them probably through the first half. They may even have a lead at some point in this game. And then Alabama's just going to impose their will. By the fourth quarter, the running backs for Alabama are just going to be running through holes the size of semis because the Miami's defensive line is just going to wear down. If Miami lost significantly, last year it was on their defensive line. There's no way they're going to be able to handle Alabama's offensive line.
So sadly, I am going to be talking up Alabama again. It's boring. Everybody does it, but you can't help deny the talent that is on that team. I don't think Miami has any lead. I think this is a 14-0 game in the first quarter, and it possibly could be 31-10 at halftime. I think Alabama covers, and I think this game's ugly. I think Miami does not live up to the preseason ranking.
Yeah. What do we got next?
Next, we got Miami of Ohio, the other Miami, against Cincinnati. 22-point favorite. And I think Cincinnati, again, as a group of 5 team, they need to have impressive wins. They can't just win. If they want any shot of getting to the playoff, they have to destroy teams. And I do think that starts here in week 1 against Miami of Ohio. I like Cincinnati by probably 30 plus.
So, yeah, I'm going to take the points here. I agree that Cincinnati is going to be really good this year. Their defense is elite. Their quarterback still, to me, is a little bit questionable. People are super high on him right now. I don't see it just yet. Cincinnati's going to win this game easily, but I don't think that they're going to do what you said, being out to impress people and trying to run it up. So give me the Red Hawks to stay in it. I have it at 22.5. You said you have it at 22, so I'll take those points. That's a lot of points.
Oh, it is a lot of points. But again, I just love their coach. I love their quarterback. I think Cincinnati's a scary team. Here we go. The game that I want to cover, the game that has me on my seat, Indiana, the biggest expectations they've ever had as a football program, going on the road in Kinnick as 3.5-point underdogs. Newman, what do you think about Indiana, Iowa today?
I mean, I think Indiana could win this game outright. So I'm going to take the 3.5 points. Iowa, I think that they're a pretty good football team, but they're rather untested. Last year, most of their wins were kind of unimpressive, whereas Indiana, had probably the best season in their history. Last year, they returned a lot of that production. Michael Penix is supposedly healthy at this point in time. So, yeah, give me Indiana.
A little bit of a weird Venn diagram stat here I got for you, Newman. In the last 5 years, Iowa has not given up more than 26 points at home. Michael Penix, in every game he's played, IU has scored more than 25 points. So that's why I'm taking Indiana, a weird score of 25-21 to win outright. Mostly because, again, they have the better quarterback, they have the better overall team. Iowa can run the ground game. Tyler Goodson is a great back. They always have a great line. I think this is probably the game of the day. Just kidding. That'll be later. But yeah, I obviously have Indiana winning, but I think for very legitimate reasons.
Yeah. So what do you got next?
Next is Louisiana, Texas. Texas being 9-point favorites at home. Can the Raging Cajuns do what they did last year and shock a ranked team? Louisiana went on the road and beat Iowa State last year. What do you got in a 9-point spread?
Honestly, that was probably a better Iowa State team than we have in this Texas team. This Texas team's super young. They're starting a freshman at quarterback. They may have their junior rotate in a little bit there, Casey Thompson, but Hudson Card is getting the start. They do have Bijan Robinson, who may be the best running back in the conference. No slight to Breece Hall there, but this Louisiana team returns like 25 of its biggest contributors. They're super seniors. They were good last year. Their defense is pretty good. Their special teams always play up. So I like them to at least cover the spread here. And I mean, it would not surprise me if they do wind up beating Texas.
Man, if this was a pick 'em, I'd have a really hard time not picking Louisiana. But I think you're absolutely right here. I can't believe they're getting 9 points. 9 is a lot. So I'm absolutely taking Louisiana. Yeah. And I'm not. I could see this game going either way. Texas will have more dudes, but Louisiana is so experienced, and they've done this before.
Yeah.
So we got LSU, UCLA. UCLA came out firing, scored a bazillion points last week. But then Coach O, does he put a stop to UCLA's scoring? LSU is a favorite by 2.5.
Yeah, so I think that LSU is really good. They aren't at home technically because this game is not being played in Louisiana with all the hurricane stuff going on down there. I do like LSU to cover. I've got it at 3. You said you've got it at 2.5. So yeah, to me, UCLA, I think that they're going to be pretty good this year. And this game's going to be close and stuff, but give me the Tigers to win, coming off the emotional aspect, everything, playing at UCLA. I'll take LSU.
Yeah, I like LSU here. I like UCLA. I like
Max Johnson is LSU's starter. He is the son of former Super Bowl winning quarterback Brad Johnson, also a Florida State alum. So he's really good. I think that this offense is going to look really good. They're going back to the Brady roots. So yeah, that's one of the main reasons I'm on LSU here.
Yeah, again, they have a lot to play for, and Chip Kelly. That's kind of all I'm going to leave it at that. 2 quick games before we get into the monster. FAU at Florida, Kent State at Texas A&M. I don't think either one of these games are close, but I would love to see what both Florida and Texas A&M look like. Florida is 23.5 point favorites, and A&M is 29.5 point favorites. Do you have either one of them covering a bunch of points?
I sure do. I actually have both of them covering. So Florida is replacing a ton of production on offense, including their quarterback, best wide receiver, and best running back. Their offense and defense, they're just replacing a lot. So I really don't think that Florida is going to be able to just run away from FAU, who is going to be a pretty explosive team in their own right. And then Texas A&M just doesn't win that way. They're not blowing teams out. Anytime you get a more than 3 score in favor of Texas A&M, you can take against the spread. They're one of the slowest paced teams in the country versus one of the teams that's going to play the fastest. So they're probably going to dictate somewhat, and that'll take the air out of the ball, which means that they're not going to be able to run the ball up this high. They also lost a bunch of offensive linemen, so the running game's not going to be as good, and they do want to run the ball. So I expect both these teams here to cover those spreads.
Yeah, I have Florida State covering. I think it's a great line. I think they end up winning by maybe 24, maybe 27. But I have
Florida covering.
I have Florida covering. I have Kent State backdoor covering. I like Kent State to win, lose by 28 points. But I think a field goal late, a silly pointless field goal by Kent State allows them to cover. Texas A&M is really, really good this year.
They're good, but Jimbo Fisher's not trying to blow teams out. And they have a freshman quarterback. There's too many things to give that many points, in my opinion.
I agree. 29.5 is a ton of points. Again, I keep teasing. We will get to the big game, but I gotta have your thoughts on Notre Dame, Florida State. I thought the line would be bigger than this. Notre Dame is only 7-point favorites on the road. Who do you like here?
Yeah, so I think the Florida State actually has a chance to win this game, but I'm not going to pick that. The money's going to be for Notre Dame, 7.5 points. That's too little. This is a team that should be significantly better. They've out-recruited Florida State at a large margin recently. They're definitely the safer pick, but Florida State has a chance to pull an upset. It's just going to take them hitting a bunch of explosive plays and basically everything going right for them, which anytime that's the case, I would not want to bet it. So give me Notre Dame to cover the spread on the books, but I will hope that Florida State proves me wrong here.
Yeah. Florida State's just not there yet. Sadly, I don't think. I don't like Jack Cohn. He was the previous quarterback at Wisconsin. So I think that's going to be Notre Dame's downfall. Jack Cohn is going to be their worst enemy all year. But again, I can't see Florida State doesn't have enough dudes to keep this close. Again, like I said, I thought the spread would be bigger. So I'm taking Notre Dame -7. And here we go. I can't believe we're getting this good of a matchup in week 1. Here we sit, September 4th, and we have an absolute banger. Number 5, Georgia. Number 3, Clemson. Clemson, 2.5-point favorite. Georgia's your darling, Newman, so I got to assume you're taking Georgia here.
Yeah, they're getting 3 points. I'm going to take that. I expect them to win the game anyway. Clemson's defensive line is really good, but so is Georgia's. Both their offensive lines are probably going to have a little bit of a problem. The under is probably the safest bet in this game, in my opinion. They're, obviously JT Daniels started for Georgia second half of the year. Their offense looked way more explosive. Their defense is always going to be really good. with Kirby Smart there and just the level of elite recruiting that they're getting. Clemson is going to be really good too. But give me, I think that Georgia is a more well-rounded and balanced team. And so for that matter, they're replacing less. Obviously Clemson is replacing Trevor Lawrence, who is a, 3-year starter there, 3.5, 4-year, whatever. 3 years. Sorry. Only there 3 years, but 3-year starter there. They're also replacing Travis Etienne, who's a 2-time ACC Offensive Player of the Year. So this is, to continue to produce at that level. I got to expect there to be a little bit of a drop off at some point. So I'm going to take Georgia and the 3 points there.
I think it's a fantastic line. I think it's a fantastic over-under, 51.5. I have it right under. I am with you with the under on this game. I have it 27-24 on a walk-off kick by Clemson. So I think Clemson covers and the under. I think that, again, I'm so freaking excited for this game. And just the slate of football. Newman, are you happy football's back, or are you? Dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, this is it. This is football season is my bread and butter. I live for this. I'm super into all the recruiting. I'm super into all the college football aspect of everything. And then we've also got all the NFL. So my weekends for the rest of the year are going to be consumed with lots and lots of football.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, like I said, we're going to be doing this every week, giving our picks with the spread.
One more little toss in here with Lane Kiffin out. I am going to take Louisville to cover the 10 points there.
Louisville's in a shambles as a administration, as an entire program. Lane or no lane, OK Corral is going to light up. I love Matt Corral.
So my thing with that is that Lane is probably one of the best play callers in the country. And when you're not at the game, you cannot call the plays. So there's, the making the adjustments and all that stuff is not going to be easy. And that's why I'm going to take Louisville getting the points.
My thing, do you know what the over-under is for this game?
No.
76 points.
Yeah, I'd probably take 6. I definitely say taking the under there is going to be a good move. While you can get it, that line is probably not going to be open that long with the news of Lane Kiffin missing that game. So
it's a bazillion points.
Get it in, and get it under.
Yes. But again, all year you're going to see Ole Miss's lines like that. They can score. I think they'll probably be a top 10 scoring offense in the entire country. Great quarterback, great offensive mind, and Louisville's a dumpster fire. But we're about 5 minutes away from kickoff. Newman, I'm going to go sit my butt down on the couch. Let's go watch some football.
Can't drink all day unless you start in the morning, folks.
See ya.